And welcome back to Shifty FX. We're going to have an in-depth look at the dollar and see how this previous week has closed, giving us a good indication of what we're going to forecast for the week ahead. If we have a look here at the dollar, we can see that this monthly fair value gap is still being respected. Okay, tapped into the consequent encroachment, respected it, bodies are respecting it, and we've given a strong bullish push to the upside. We are somewhat wedged at the moment between these two monthly fair value gaps. All right, and we'll try and refine this down a little bit. But what we're seeing is we've seen an impulse to the upside post sweep, strong move into this monthly fair value gap. And now this current month giving a strong rejection down. We've got 7 more days or 5 more days left of this monthly candle. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for the next week. If we get a strong bearish candle close, I'm going to at this point assume that market might be targeting downside fair value gaps, so bullish fair value gaps. What I mean by that is we could see a deeper retracement into one of these two levels, retesting these fair value gaps going forward. Okay, so let's map those out. All right, so where are we? We have an unconfirmed swing high, we have a swing low. If we have a look at this, confirmed swing low, but since that we have 2 higher lows on either side of it. Okay, this one is an unconfirmed because we haven't had the third candle developed yet. We do have this lapping order block over here, which I'm not going to map out just now because it's just going to make the charts a bit messy. So these are 2 potential targets. All right, if we draw out our dealing range, we can have a look that both of these fall within the EQ of this dealing range for now. So market could be pushing to the downside in hopes of targeting one of these two for potential upside movement, or could be looking to target the downside. As if you have a look at this, we could see ourselves in a accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution to the downside. We do have relative equal lows over here, so I'm keeping it open. This is long-term kind of stuff right now. I wouldn't make assumptions long-term that market is going to push to the downside or to the upside. Right now, what we're looking at is current order flow. We see a strong push to the upside, bullish candle close over a 3 monthly period, and we could see a monthly close to the downside now. Looking at these charts over here on the weekly, you'll see we've had a swing high confirmation, which I spoke about previously. I said, if we can anticipate this week getting taken early, closing down, we could potentially anticipate that the next move would continue down into this fair value gap from external to internal. So we have a weekly fair value gap there that hasn't been closed below entirely. Okay, we do have this overlapping order block right there, and we are currently within the discount of this range. Again, we have a confirmed swing high and low now because we do have the higher lows on either side and the lower highs on either side here. Okay, so looking at this price action, strong monthly close, incoming potentially, weekly has done the same. My immediate draw on liquidity right now is this swing low. Given using a 2 candle theory, we are trying to trade what the previous week has said. So that's my weekly draw on liquidity right now. If we zoom in here a little bit, understanding that there is a substantial amount of liquidity here and here within these monthly fair value gaps, that if market this week opens, okay, and we pull up and close below this and invert this level, which I'll show you on the daily happened, we could see market draw towards this swing low. There is nothing substantial standing out here. So what I would assume, and what I mean by that is there's no fair value gap down here. So we could see market target this external range liquidity before turning or just carrying on lower. So this will be a good calling card to see if this weekly fair value gap gets inverted this week. Okay. So using that same example, I'll show you what we discussed on the daily. So let's just remove this quickly. Here you could see on the daily that we discussed in last week's outlook that if this gets inverted, okay, this daily fair value gap, we could see a retest and then draw towards this weekly fair value gap. That's played out perfectly. All right. So we're just trying to put the odds in our favor. If market is going to respect this level, I want to see it respected quickly. As in, I want to see Monday open up. Here, for instance, immediately take this liquidity, okay, and give a strong indication that we get a bullish candle close. Just like that. That would give me a good indication that, all right, we're within this weekly order block. We're within this weekly fair value gap. We've had Monday take the previous week's low and Friday's low early on in the week. Our next obvious draw would be movement to the upside. Okay, targeting ultimately this external range liquidity for higher draw on dollar. All right, but in the meantime, we are looking for a draw on this weekly. Now, what do we look when we're trying to target that? We could see a classic Tuesday high of the week. We could see Monday open, pull back, create a fair value gap over here. Tuesday tap in, tap down, and draw to this external range liquidity. We just need to see what plays out. But if we have a look here on the 4 hour, we'll see this fair value gap on the 4 hour being respected. Okay, so 4 hour order flow being respected, breaking structure to the downside, tapping into this weekly fair value gap, immediate draw being this low. How could we potentially target this low, given that the most recent impulse is bearish? Okay, so we have this fair value gap over here. This is our confirmed swing again. Why? We have a swing high and swing low in play. There's your 3 candle swing. And if we get out our dealing range, we could target premium up here. All right, this is a good indication. I like it when market closes like this, giving us a tail and a wick on the daily. You'll see there, and especially on the weekly, get a bit of a wick over there. Let's see if we use our range, previous week's range, where we could fall into, using about the 25% and the 50%. So candle range, let's go on the daily. So market could pull back about this 25%, which is overlapping with this fair value gap. Okay, nice. So 25%, I don't see why it would have to push up to the 50. If it is going to push up to there, we could see it retest this, or at that point, we're respecting this fair value gap and we're going to continue all the way to the upside. So right now, order flow on the lower time frame is not aligned with the higher time frame order flow, in the sense that the weekly hasn't aligned with, or the 4 hour hasn't aligned with the weekly. We want to see market invert this, giving some bullish fair value gaps to the upside, and then giving us an indication that the next draw would be the swing high ultimately. Okay, that would be our external range swing. But right now, we have bearish order flow being respected. Yeah, gap, tapping in there, pushing to the downside, creating fair value gaps, respecting that fair value gap, pushing to the downside, creating breaker blocks, everything like that. Again, just overlapping. It's the last down close candle of that swing, so you could highlight the entire thing. I'm just mapping out a sensitive zone, because if you drop to a lower time frame, that's just a refinement there. So you'll see that 1 hour. So not important. You could highlight the entire thing or the wick. So that overlaps with that nicely. We do have this order block over here within that range. You could come up with plenty stories. We just need to see what the candle's going to do. So Monday open could look to draw to premium. On the upside, we do have some nice liquidity available over here. So buy side liquidity on this end. And we could see a draw in there, which is also some decent buy side. If market is going to draw up here, I don't see why it wouldn't tap into that. So I'm going to remove that. 20-minute. Yeah. Okay, so nice swing over there. Push to the downside. Let's get back to the 1 hour. Good swing level over there. Relative equal highs. It's not that close, but if market's going to target that, it's most likely going to take the sweep as well, tapping into this 4 hour. Okay. Get back to the 4 hour. Nice. All right. So Monday, I'm looking for movement to the upside. I want to see. Yeah, I want to see this respected. I want to see a slight draw back in. Again, guys, I keep on repeating, I just want to see Monday play out. It's not as clear as day. Monday, we could see it immediately open and tap that and reverse off of this level. That would be great. But right now, I just want to go with my 2 candle theory, allowing Monday to close up. Maybe creating a daily fair value gap for us with an overlapping of this breaker block and 4 hour fair value gap, which would be lovely. Tap in there and then move to the downside and take this weekly draw on liquidity. Yeah, like I said, if this gets taken early and Monday wicks up aggressively, my target would then be we're going to pull a bit more to the upside. Maybe ultimately targeting this swing high. But again, we just need to play it by ear. Short-term target, I want to see this taken. And then I want to see how the daily candle closes to that. If I get a nice daily rejection out of there, I'm going to target this swing low. And if that gets inverted this week, we are going to continue lower. And that's what I'll be targeting. These swings above these monthly fair value gaps. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let's have a quick look at EU. So weekly, strong, aggressive weekly candle close. Clear swings available for the taking. We have this level on the weekly as our buy side liquidity. If I'm not mistaken, there's a monthly fair value gap there. Yeah. So monthly fair value gap. And then further up there. So map out that BPR, but let's just put monthly fair value gap there. Still respecting this monthly, which is a good sign. Again, like I said, it's an early call because this is long term. We could see this ultimately play out as our accumulation right here. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution to the upside. Okay. But that is a long-term plan for the markets. We have look there, we have relative equal highs. So that's our buy side. Go back to the weekly. First initial draw on liquidity. We have some pretty low resistance liquidity over here. No fair value gaps or anything created just yet. So immediate draw being the 2 candle theory. I'm going to have a look for this swing to be taken, or this previous weekly high. Nice swing in play there. There to there. Nice. So we've traded back into premium on that. I'm most likely banking that we're going to target this coming week or the next coming weeks. Unless we see something drastic that this is taken early on DXY, like I previously said, and closes aggressively to the downside. But I would put money on this being our target for now. If we get to the daily, we'll see here. We have our daily order block or change in the state of delivery. There's our sweep of liquidity. Exactly what you want to see. Such a powerful formation, this, guys. Creation of liquidity, engineering of liquidity, swept it, and impulse to the upside. At this point here, we have our change in the state of delivery. So market is now changed its order flow. Bearish order flow has been disrespected. Bullish order flow is now being respected. Okay, impulse to the upside. This daily, using a 2 candle theory, would be our immediate draw on liquidity. Okay, so we're going to look to target Friday's high. And if we go on to the 4 hour, how can we get to Friday's high? So lovely sweep mitigating this level in there. Why I'm using that is because it has an overlapping, the wick on this one, I should say. If there's an overlapping fair value gap, I tend to use the wick of the order block instead of the body. Okay, there you'll see it taps in. You'll see this is a high priority order block just because it's mitigated previous structure on the 4 hour. Reacted aggressively, broken structure to the upside, and has come down and respected that nicely and impulsed away aggressively. So a couple of levels I'm going to keep an eye on would be these two fair value gaps. I'm just going to map them out as one. So on the H4, okay. Market could drop down. We have a lovely swing over here. So we have some nice buy side liquidity. Sell side, apologies. So what we could see is market open up. Respect this. BPR over here. And turn to the downside and then continue up. Again, you just need to find what your entry criteria is. Okay. My immediate draw, just given what the previous day has done, I'm most likely going to target this weekly draw and this previous day's high. If my entry doesn't develop, then I just sit on my hands and I wait a little bit and see what the daily or Monday candle close looks like. But right now, that is a good swing level there. We do have this refined 2 hour within this gap. If I just block these out for you, so that's just liquidity and volume. That's 1 hour. It's not the best right now, that one, just given, yeah, there, that's a bit better. So when you get on this level, you can see a clear swing available. So it just comes down to what we see happening. Okay, let me block these off for you. Yeah, that swing looks good. From this 4 hour, we could see a sweep down, tapping into this level and drawing to the upside. If market's going to come all the way down here on Monday, we're most likely going to see a daily fair value gap created, potentially, within this area. From here to here, this would be even better if we could get something like this. Monday, pull down, low volume, create a daily fair value gap, tap into that come Tuesday, create the Tuesday low of the week, and target that immediate draw to the upside. All right, guys. So pretty much just going to see how Monday morning plays out for me. We will take it from there, see how Monday closes to give us a good indication of what we are going to do on the week. If I get my entry on Monday tapping into this 4 hour level, I'm most likely going to execute a trade from that. Okay, it's a good swing level on the lower time frame. What we could see play out is a classic trade that you've seen me post multiple times. Could see liquidity built up here, Asian range, central bank dealers range, the works, manipulate out, target the previous week, leaving us with a situation that this could be Monday low of the week. Market drawing up, tapping into this weekly, and given DXY, seeing, like we said, if it respects that weekly fair value gap, once the previous week's low is taken on DXY, high on EU, that will give a good indication of what we're going to be doing in the coming weeks. All right, traders, I hope that helped you out. Just short and to the point. Well, I wouldn't say that short, but what we're trying to do is just put the odds in our favor using previous candle closes. Okay, it's that simple. We don't have to try forecast anything and overcomplicate it. We just want to see what the previous print has given us. Previous print weekly, good. I'm going to look to trade in that favor. Previous day, I'm going to look to try and trade with that continuation. All right, traders. Hope you have a good one, and we will catch you soon.